We tend to view football through the lens of the individual. We tally the goals, compare the trophies, and treat the Ballon d'Or as the ultimate proof of a player's worth. But the history of the sport is littered with failed experiments. When two elite players who both require the ball and the center of the pitch occupy the same space, the result is tactical friction. Most pairings end up in this low-output quadrant, except for one data point that tracked far away from the pack. In 2013, Lionel Messi was already the centerpiece of the European giants, a quiet, established titan who had spent years carrying the weight of Barcelona's expectations. Thousands of miles away in Brazil, Neymar was dazzling crowds with a fearless, high-speed style that had every major club competing for his signature. Because their playing styles and personalities seemed so diametrically opposed, the football world expected a battle for the spotlight. Two egos of this magnitude, it was assumed, could never share the same grass. Instead, they proved that the most effective way to dominate the game was to stop worrying about who got the credit. The partnership began here, under the pressure of 99,000 people at the Camp Nou. Neymar arrived in Catalonia under intense global scrutiny, tasked with integrating into a team that was already winning everything without him. The predicted clash vanished because of a simple choice. Neymar recognized Messi's leadership, while Messi actively worked to put the ball at the younger player's feet. When Luis Suarez joined them to complete the MSN trio, the lack of ego became their greatest tactical advantage. Defenders couldn't predict who would take the shot because the players themselves didn't care, as long as the ball ended up in the net. The European titles and record-breaking stats that followed were a direct result of that initial decision to trust each other over their own personal numbers. On the field, they operated with a shared intuition. They viewed every attack as a single sequence, often passing up an easy goal just to ensure a teammate got a better look. This was visible in the small moments. Messi would famously hand the ball to Neymar for crucial penalty kicks, specifically to help the younger player regain his confidence after a difficult stretch. They celebrated every goal with the kind of genuine joy you usually only see in a park between friends, not from professionals at the highest level of the industry. For millions of fans, this was an antidote to a sport increasingly defined by sterile data and individual rivalries. It proved that a team becomes significantly more than the sum of its parts when the players actually want each other to succeed. Eventually, the era came to an end. The logistical and financial realities of modern football meant they couldn't stay on the same pitch forever. Neymar moved to PSG, taking on the challenge of leading a project in a new league. Messi stayed at Barcelona, continuing to build on his historic individual records. Most expected that the distance and the separate paths would cause that unique connection to fade into just another professional memory. But years later, even wearing different shirts and playing in different cities, the level of respect and friendship they shared remained exactly the same as it was in Spain. They showed that a partnership built on genuine empathy is more resilient than the clubs or the contracts that brought them together. Records are eventually broken, and trophies are replaced by the next season's winner. At the peak of a cutthroat industry, Messi and Neymar operated with a level of trust that is rarely seen in professional sports. While titles are part of the record, the specific memory of that partnership remains a permanent part of why people love the game. What is your favorite moment from the Messi and Neymar era? Share it in the comments below. For more stories that go beyond the statistics, hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for the next one.